So I'm starting to put the front end back together, and I'm learning a few things. I was at Cars and Coffee this morning, and I was scoping out some 68 and 69 Chevelles, no El Caminos, but they're all the same, to look at how everything goes back together, because it's not terribly obvious and there's a lot of pieces. What I think I figured out is that I actually have a 69 grill and bracket assembly, because what I have is there's some mix and match. It seems to closer match the 69 than the 68, which I could understand because this car was poorly SS cloned. So the guy who SS cloned it may have just had a 69 front grille and filler panel and brackets and everything and put those on the 68, because they are different. From what I can tell from the forums, they simplified stuff in the 69 because the 68 was difficult to put together. So I found I never had these spacers, as long as I've owned the car. And actually, half the cars I looked at Cars and Coffee were missing them too, because I think people just skip them if they disassemble and reassemble. I can't figure out what they're called. I can't find them. So I just turned up a couple of them on the lathe, and they don't snap into the filler panel like the factory ones do, so I just use a bolt. That'll be okay. I've got the brackets in, and I don't know what to call this, the horn bracket. This ties into the factory hood latch. I've got two of the buckets assembled and installed, and I found out something cool about these. Cool? Not good. These two that I assembled are the factory buckets that I had. I had two good factory buckets. I bought two repro buckets. And as I'm assembling these, I found out that the high beam and the low beam buckets are different. And I think I have 4 high beam buckets. The reason that they're different is there are these 3 notches on the light that locate into the bucket to locate the light. And for some reason, Chevrolet decided that the low beams, this notch right here, is moved over about 1/2 inch. So my high beam lights do not fit into the low beam buckets, or vice versa. I actually don't know which one I have and which one I don't have. Because I have 4 identical lights for the front, because to run the low beam, pretty simple. You just run the same light, but you just don't use the third plug, instead of buying 2 different SKUs of lights, which I didn't know at the time. I just bought 4 of the same. So what I'm going to do, instead of spending more time and money sourcing the right bucket, is just cut that notch in the right place for the high beam, and then I will have 4 universal buckets, and we'll keep moving forward. So a few seconds with an angle grinder, then a hammer and a dolly, and this is now a high beam bucket. I don't know why they didn't just do it this way from factory. You don't really appreciate until you've had it in a bin and you're starting from scratch and putting it all together. The front ends on these are like quite literally hundreds of parts, and having all the parts, putting them all together in the right order, takes a stupid amount of time. Next minor annoyance, this hood I drilled and set up for a hood pin kit. That I took the hood pin kit off the old hood that I had, used it as a template, drilled the holes, riveted them, whatever. But it was pretty chewed up, so I bought a new kit. Same major diameter on these as advertised. Different bolt pattern, so that's not going to work. So I need to find the same part that I had before so that I can put it back in. I'm slowly going insane doing all of this. Not a tap, thread chase. Carpets fit up. It was a pretty good carpet. I just put it out in the sun for a couple hours to soften it up, and it pretty much just went right in. Just had to obviously notch it for the cage and notch it for the pedal box, and it looks pretty good. Say what you will, but this is the best way I know of to make clean holes in carpet. And a lot more of the interior's in. Got the seats in, got the shifter in, door sills. I have these sort of universal style seat belts, like a 69, that have a shoulder belt. Pretty cool. Swing out door bars. I have the factory center console, but Really, it doesn't fit very well because these seats are a little wider. Um, and so the seatbelt really gets pinched between the seat and the console. Not sure if I'm going to use it or not, or find something else to put between the seats. The tailgate is also fit up and most of the trim is installed. I just need to get some of the speed nuts that I'm missing for some of the trim pieces. Bed trim's all on. Front windshield trim is on. Starting to come together. Well, for the first time in years, it's looking like a car again. Thanks, Vlad, for coming over today, helping me fit up the doors. Wasn't too bad since we did the fit up work a couple years ago. Just aligning them now. We already know that the panel gaps are going to be good. Got those on. Tailgate's on. Fenders are on. Hood's on. I think this was in the engine startup video, but most of the front end is on. I need to do the headlight surrounds. All the rest of that. All the panels are on except for the bumpers. She's looking pretty good. The hood fits pretty well for a fiberglass hood. And I even have, oh, hang on. I even have the factory latch working. I need 2 hands to do that. So that still works. I've got the hood pins. Just need to get the parts that rivet onto the top there. Pretty good. And when you run the fiberglass hood, you have to get the kit with the soft springs or you'll break the hood in half the first time you try and close it. Blue meanie. Nice. That's it for this one. See you later.